a lot of people are wondering, why Blue Bearing prefers the Unit Solutions training rifles. And before I can just tell you like, oh, because it works, I need to give you guys a bit of a backstory. So that relationship started over 3.5 years ago. It was one of the first relationships getting out of the Army, knowing, what right looks like, and then trying to piece things together from a training perspective and make it as realistic as possible. And I just kept hitting all these hurdles and speed bumps along the way about, ordering this Sims and that, and then training law enforcement departments. They need, a sim munitions rated shoot house. They need a Sims rated instructor. They need RSOs. They have made sim munition training just as hard as it is to do live fire training. And one thing, 3.5 years later, that still remains true, and this is something that we are trying to work on as a company across this country, is giving people the opportunities to train, showing them how to train realistically, safely, right? And sadly, because of all the red tape that's just comes with, you know, I got to schedule a range, I got to make sure we have that instructor that's rated on that system, all the PPE that's required in order to even get any training done. This system out the gate, from the first time I used it, I was like, what is this? Like, there was a student that had it, and that's how I found out about Unit Solutions. And I was like, this isn't a drop-in bolt. This is a whole standalone system. So I started learning more about it, and that's where the relationship started. And they were there for me. I asked them for help, and they have been alongside Blue Bearing for the past 3.5 years. And it is the closest relationship we have because it works. And not only does it work, they care about their product, how safe they can create something, and you use it in these realistic environments that are intense and inherently dangerous. And sadly, you guys have heard things on the news over since the beginning of training, of people having training accidents, of not switching their live bolt to the Sims bolt, and then there's a fatality or an injury. Now, this system, applying creativity, common sense, and safety, you can just train. Clear Eye Pro, any exposed skin, it's an appropriate pain response. That's the other side of this. Is, if I'm being real about this, people get shot with Sims and they're like, ooh, it hurts. Yeah, it hurts. It's supposed to hurt for a reason. It's so you learn the error that you made in a tactical environment, in a situation with context. It's not a paint war, right? But people get so scared about getting hit by Sims. It's just like, hey man, it sucks, but it's there for you to learn from. And then they layer in like 16 layers of clothing and masks and groin protectors and all these things, when I've never trained like that. I've always trained, even with Sims, with just iPro and my normal assault gear. But the fact is like, being a trainer in this space, whether private citizen or law enforcement, like, they have policies, and I'm never going to, teach things that are going to violate those policies. And this system allows us to do all the things just as we're dressed, with some Clear Eye Pro on, safely. It's an appropriate pain response. So the non-marking side of this, the other aspect of why I choose the Unit Solutions training rifle, is because it leaves a perfect little hole, just as if I used to do live fire CQB every day. And I can hold myself and my team and anyone else accountable to shot placement, and actually maximize what the two-dimensional target gives me. Shoot, no shoot. So target discrimination and shot placement, being as precise as I can be with this. So this system with the non-markers leaves a perfect little hole with the backstop there, so it's not bouncing around. And then you have the marking rounds. And I love the blood red, because it actually looks worse than it is. Even if you hit exposed skin, it actually adds to the realism of that, that injury that you've sustained or inflicted. So it allows you to render aid if you need to, even without moulaging people up. So that system, the Unit Solution system, is something that we've been using more than any other training company in this industry. And we're the first ones that's ever identified any little tiny issues. But the beauty of this is the 5-year warranty that they give you guys when you buy this system gives you a peace of mind that if anything happens to that system under that warranty, they're going to replace it like that. So check it out if you haven't yet. The Unit Solutions UNIT4 Training Rifle, hands down, not a toy. There's a lot of y'all out there that think this is just an expensive airsoft toy. I've used airsoft things to try to fill that gap. I know what right looked like and trying to replicate it. This is not an airsoft toy. This is a tool that you can use to enhance your training, creating a realistic environment, being as surgical as you can be with your shot placement and doing it safely.